So we're going to get started. So I have to tell you, though, before I start, because I was doing like the marketing stuff for you with your pictures and stuff. And my son walks in and he's like, yo, who's that? You know? And I was like, get out. By the way, she's like my age. And he's like, no way. Literally thought you were like 20.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like his age. And he's like, get out of here. Never mind. And he's like, walks out.
And I photographed your family before.
That's what I told him too. She photographed you when you were like 9.
That's the hard
and
part
he's
now.
like, never mind, and walks out. But I have to say that because that's how beautiful you are. And thank you for coming here and joining me because I've known you, I think, for a while now. And
well, a long time.
A long time.
Because I've been doing this 15 years. And so then before that.
Yeah.
At least 5, probably.
Yeah. So quite a bit because, and the reason why I asked you to be on the podcast is because I like to have women on here that I feel like have shown such resilience. Oh. And I follow you on social media and I feel like you've been through quite a bit and you've done you're so successful in what you do and you're so beautiful that I was like, I need to share you with the listeners or even viewers of who you are and what you do. So
it's always interesting how somebody perceives you.
Right.
Because and we'll, I'm sure, get into that, but like because of my upbringing and stuff, like I just feel the same as everybody else, like just normal.
And I know a lot of people that we know together are going to probably listen or see this and go, yo, oh my God, that's Arlene, you know, because people know you and the title and escrow industry and photography industry. So it's like, how cool would that be to have you here and just kind of talk about what you do and who you are. So thank you again.
That whole like blast from the past and then coming back into my life in the photo world has kind of been always.
I mean, everyone uses you for their pictures, I feel like, too. So it's cool. I love that.
I mean, more can use.
Yes.
Always more. But yes, a lot. Like it's been really nice to kind of reconnect, especially in a new phase of life. Like, I mean, we've all grown and changed, hopefully.
Totally. We've all grown and changed. Yeah. It's in 20 years, definitely. Yeah.
Well, you hope so, right? I mean, that's always the
I
goal.
feel like I'm better. I'm cooler. No. Well, I like to do a little research on my guests. So
tell me what you found.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I want to know.
I mean, I think everyone knows what I know, but I just want the listeners to know. So you are originally from, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yes.
Is that like the middle or what part of Canada?
I think it looks like the middle on the map, but it's actually more western. But it's right above North Dakota.
I was going to ask. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So like the middle of nowhere.
Yes, the absolute middle of nowhere. We had
snow everywhere.
2 cities.
Okay.
That you had to drive to. So when we went shopping, it's like, we're going to go into the city to go shopping. And I mean, we had little grocery stores and stuff. And I had somebody once when I first moved here say, how did you know how to like dress? And I'm like, well, we have TV and magazines and such. Like you have to drive to the city to shop. Like there was or you order out of the Sears catalog. This is dating me now. But the Sears catalog, it's a local catalog, store and you circle your number of what you want to order. So that was good times. God.
That sounds like fun though. That's different though, because you were just saying like you had to butcher your animals and hunt, right, and stuff like that.
So at the risk of any PETA getting involved, I grew up on a farm and we did raise our own livestock and chickens and even rabbits, and so
that's just how you had to live.
I mean, you get your hands dirty. And,
totally.
You know, you don't get salmonella in the process, hopefully. So.
You don't have an accent anymore because it's really strong up there, right?
Well, it can be. Like when I talk to my family, I think then the out and about the O's kind of come out a little, but not as much. I mean, it definitely, I think when you go up there and spend a week, it can definitely come out. But I mean, it's not cold all the time. It's cold in the winter.
Yeah. Okay.
Not in the summer. It's a lot like, well, I mean, it's like Montana.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all.
And beautiful.
Like North Dakota.
Beautiful in the summer.
Yeah. It's just flat. Like there's not a lot of. We did.
To do.
I mean, we do have some lakes and we do have some hills to ski on. Not a lot of mountains. But you fly in and it's like all the same.
We're promoting the travel over the tourist activities.
It was funny. We had pen pals in. Pen pals, no one does it anymore. You guys would text them, but pen pals in Minot, North Dakota. And they're like, oh, do you guys live in igloos? And we're like, we live 3 hours from you.
Yeah.
Like, no, we live the same. It's the same weather.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of funny how just across the border they think
She'd
it
be
would
like,
be
yes,
different.
I do. Yes. No.
Yes, I built it. It's where I
Yeah.
go for punishment. Great.
But you enjoy going there now. I mean,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just don't get there very often. Like it's a little bit of a trek to get there. But I mean, all my family is still there. And
are you going through North Dakota to get?
No, we go up to Canada.
Okay,
up
so
to
you are-
Abbotsford,
okay.
BC, or Vancouver, and then
Drive.
you fly. Usually, well, I mean, you can drive, but it's like 24 hours to drive to where I grew up. But you fly to Calgary, and then you can fly to one of the cities in Saskatchewan.
Nice.
The main city being Regina. So everybody
Regina.
Yes, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Oh my God.
You know if somebody's from Canada because when you say Regina, they don't laugh. But anyone that doesn't know, they're like, "Oh, Regina." I'm like, "Yes,
Regina.
we all know what it rhymes with." Yes. We can all be inappropriate about it.
I love it. Oh my
So-
God. So okay, get back to you though. You're a mom of 2 beautiful teenage girls.
Yes.
And how old are they?
So 17 and 19. So
And
we're entering
Heidi
and Eva.
Eva, that's right.
So yes, one is in college now. So again, it's at the risk of dating yourself because it's nice to say, oh, I've been in business 15 years. I have a 17 and 19-year-old and I'm 30, like crazy. It's just
Yeah.
I haven't aged. No, I'm
Right?
kidding.
I love to say
Obviously, I'm
that.
not 30. From far away.
Yes, but you
That's-
feel 30, or you feel like
I mean, maybe probably more like 35.
yeah.
Little, depending on the morning when you're trying to get out of bed.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, totally. How is it having 2 teenage girls? I mean,
No, good. I think it's interesting. It's interesting when you say like you followed my journey on social media. I've always
Yeah.
tried to be, we all preach authenticity and we're going to talk about beauty and stuff, and that's where I feel like a lot of beauty comes from. But there's also a place of holding like respect for privacy. And so same with my kids, like I don't want to overexpose because they are at the age that they have their own story.
Sure, yeah.
And their friends follow me. Like that's the thing about a public business account, their friends follow. So you're trying to be authentic and relate to people, but respectful and not give too much detail.
you have to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't on, there was no Instagram when my kids were little.
Yeah,
so,
same.
you're not talking about all the woes of parenting and stuff
Yeah.
at that point. And so then to lead in when they're, first of all, going through divorce, I do want to be mindful. Like there's
Of course. Yeah.
my ex, but their dad.
Yeah.
And so I want to be mindful of that. And then,
Sure.
so I didn't really talk a lot about that. I'm more of a one-on-one, like if you want to get together, like I'm happy to share and I want to be as open.
Yeah.
But I do find the public platform just to maintain a vulnerability,
Yeah.
but privacy and respect at the same time.
I think that's strange when people expect you to share everything. It's just like you have to have boundaries. I mean, you can't like in social media it's a fine line. It's for business too, and it's for like it's not showing you're happy all the time, but it's being respectful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and with the kids, like
Yeah.
they have their own things. And so I've asked, like, can I share this? Or I learn, like, you post everything. And it's like, okay, so now I'm learning maybe not to post that or,
Yeah.
their rules for themselves are not the same rules as I'm supposed to have. So then, it's just ever changing too as they grow.
Oh yeah.
So,
Always changing.
Yeah.
And I think that because my kids too, they don't post on social media, and they hate when I do. And then, so I don't do a lot about them. And I don't know if it's that era of that age of kids, that like they were just starting to get into it. Because now, if you see kids, it's crazy. It can be pretty crazy. But mine get pretty offended when I talk about them. So I am also very,
or
very,
why
very
are you
careful.
talking on there instead of just
Yeah.
snapping your face at any given moment? Like, I can't post this picture, but you can snap your face any time of the day, whatever,
Right.
every angle.
Yeah.
And it's just different rules, but it's also like learning how to respect those and then also learning my own boundaries and standing up for myself. And I'm like, it's my
It's
business.
my
and-
business and my social media. Yes.
and my story.
Yes, totally.
Like, so you can have your story and I think be respectful to the players in it
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
So
I know my husband too. He's the same. Like, do not post that picture of me. Do not ask me first when you post a picture. And I'm like, got it. Got it. So, okay. Prior to photography, So anyone that's listening, I'm sorry, Arlene's a photographer, very good photographer. We'll get to that. But you were in title and escrow.
Yeah.
That's how we met, because I
Yes.
was in title and escrow, and you worked for a big title and escrow company, and you were in management and all of that. That's how I met you. You were my manager. So
Crazy.
I mean, that is so crazy that how long ago that was.
I know.
Do you miss it?
I do not miss month end. Hearing about month end. Now it's every weekend. Now I'm busy on the weekends and So
If you said yes, I'd be like, you crazy. No.
I mean, there's aspects like
Yeah.
the people and I mean,
Yeah.
I started when the company was like 20 people.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
we were acquired and went through this big acquisition and then it just kind of snowballed and
to a big company.
Right,
And
which
you
was
ran it
really-
very well. Yeah.
which was
very
really
well.
great. It was a really great experience to go through that.
Yeah.
There were definitely challenges within,
Oh, yeah.
it helped me solidify though, being an entrepreneur, like it helped me know I don't really want staff. I don't really want to like grow this big company.
Yeah.
Having worked in a big company, like it was great experience. And then it helped me just be very solid in where I've landed.
Right, right. And then you definitely, I just have to say your awards if you don't mind. From like 2015 to 23, you were named the couple's choice for the wedding wire and the knot, right?
Yeah.
But because you're the top 5% of wedding professionals nationwide.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's,
And so I have to say that, no, don't be embarrassed. And I hate
No,
it.
because I think
I
they-
always look up awards for my guests, and I'm saying it out loud because I don't think this is anything that I think everyone should know this. And we're on 2020 on the King 5's Best of Western Washington as top 5 wedding photographers.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I think that is so, and I'd say title and escrow now to what you're doing, because I feel like you had a career.
Yeah.
You decided and you made a choice to stop that career and do something that you love, and now you've done it so successfully, and everyone knows that. Everyone needs to go on Arlene's website to see your pictures because they are so beautiful.
and they can find you on there too.
Yes, from years and years ago. But I just have to say these things, and I like to do that for my guests because I know it's like, cringe or embarrassing, but it's not. I think it's amazing, and I think it's telling to people, someone that's listening that really is stuck and can really take something from this, that, okay, my dream is to be a photographer someday. And from your experience, you can do it, and you can do it very, very, very well. So that's why I am saying all this.
It is hard to celebrate yourself, I will say. Like, I would love to apply for other awards, but then I feel like, first of all, it's hard to select pictures. And then it's also like, it's both. It's nice that they have awards out there, but then you sometimes feel like, well, everybody's applying. Like, I think why I laugh at those awards is a little bit chuckle is because I think they gave it to a lot of people.
Yeah, but no. But
so
the
then
thing
you're like,
is,
okay, well, I'm in here with just like lots of other people. But yet, I mean, it's good to celebrate. There's acknowledgement
to
in that. And I
celebrate.
think it is important because we want to celebrate people who have.
well, I don't think King 5 Best of Western Washington, they give that to a lot of people. So no, they don't do that. But I think that you definitely, and I don't think you need awards to feel special or feel like you're great at what you do.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. It's important to celebrate what you do as well. And getting those awards and getting out there and showing your work is super important. Like I said, especially for a younger generation right now, you have to be able to, especially on your platform and my platform, be able to tell women, like, you can have a career and then you can quit that career and do something that you absolutely love. So how did you get in photography? Like, what was the decision that made you just quit and go for it?
Well, it's escrow. No, I'm just kidding.
Same.
Well, actually, like when I left escrow and title, it was 2008, which was a big recession time. And so we were laying off a bunch of people. And I don't know if you worked there then.
Oh, I was laid off so many times too. Yeah.
And so I was getting a lot of work actually because we were laying off a lot of staff. And I had a 1 and 3-year-old at home. And so I'm like, okay, well, can I take a layoff instead? And even though it's hard being in a management position, because you can sometimes absorb a lot of tasks and work and stuff, I just felt like I needed to, like, I couldn't handle, and I wanted to have a moment to stay at home. I had never really done that in my life other than the maternity leaves.
Right, right.
And so I'm like, okay, can I do that? And so that was a big shift to all of a sudden, like, kind of be at home.
So it was more like you were going to be a mom.
Yeah, I just wanted to just take some time
That's a job
and then
too.
figure it out until maybe the market changed or whatever. I didn't really know. I was just like, okay, when am I going to have to go back to an office job?
Sure.
That was like my mentality. So like if you would have told me, my younger self, okay, in 20 years, like you're going to be doing this, you'll be divorced, raising kids, and have your own company, I would have been like, first of all, that's scary. Let's just start talking about fear. And second of all, like, you're crazy. There's no way, like, I'm not going to own my own company. Like, I'm a little Canadian farm girl, like, whatever. And little by little, right? You just step into it. So I was home with the kids and taking pictures. There was only Facebook.
Yeah.
iPhones had just come out a few years prior, like when my daughter was born. Yeah. And so social media has completely changed. So that's trying to keep up with that is also a full-time job.
Right. Yeah.
But I just started taking pictures and you post them on Facebook. And so I think because I had gone to a big church and then from our work, your networks are pretty big. And so then people would just say, well, can you take some pictures for me? And I'm like, sure. Like I'd like to try. Sure. Why not? So then I was running around kind of like trying. And one of my really good friends, she's a graphic designer. So she's like, oh, I'll make you a logo. And then I would take her pictures and I'd play with my camera settings and
oh my gosh,
take just pictures of the kids and hanging out and whatever. And so then just by posting, right? Which that blew up. I mean, you can't send mailers to everybody that Facebook was reaching at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there's a lot more stipulations and things.
Oh, right.
I don't want to say competition, but the industry is a lot more saturated for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But, so then my brother actually said to me, okay, like it's nice that people are giving you like coffee cards and stuff or gift cards, but like, if you're going to do this, like you should maybe do this because you're running around. And I was finding editing software and I was starting to listen to, at the time there was a platform called Creative Live. Like now it's all subscription based, but if you watched live, it was free. And I remember there was only 1,000 followers when I first started watching. Oh, and so I learned like some of the editing stuff and then I was learning like some of the sales tactics and pricing and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And so my brother's like, you should like either do this or don't. Right. Because like you're spending a lot of time. And so the first year of business, I changed my pricing 3 times, I think, just because I couldn't handle the volume. Yeah. Like you start to put stuff out there and I mean, that's the only way I could kind of control the influx of people. Yeah. And so and then here we are. Yeah. Like, kind of crazy. It's crazy to look back. Yeah,
it's so crazy to look back at that because those are the best stories. I was just talking to Brian about that. It was the best stories was like hearing people how they start and how cool it is that it just came from like the littlest things. And you're taking pictures of your kids and then you're posting it on Facebook and all of a sudden people are like, that's so good. I want you to take pictures of me. And that's just kind of how it grew in your network. Yeah. And so was it hard to start a business in your businesswoman hat? How hard was it, that part of things for you, being a young mom?
Well, I mean, I did a lot of shoots where they were sitting in the car watching a DVD and I'm out in a field shooting. Like, I mean, you're doing whatever. God. I just think about it now and they're like, I don't want to come to a shoot with you. And you're like, but you used to come all the time. You just watch.
And they were in the car just waiting.
Yeah, when the DVDs were in the back of the seat, whatever. Yeah. But
crazy.
Yeah, like I think being in the business world, escrow and title, you learn a lot about customer service. I had a business background in college because they do have colleges up in Canada.
Do they?
They do. They have education.
You went to school?
Just a little bit. Don't want to brag. So, and then it was all business that I learned in the mortgage and escrow business because or escrow and title, I guess. I wasn't really doing escrow and title. I was doing the management side and assistant to the CEO and that kind of thing. Sure. And so you learn a lot about customer service. And that's really, again, taking photos is this much of the pie. Yeah. And like this much is everything else.
Everything else. Okay. Speaking of that part, the business side, all of it's this, and you said it's a little piece of the pie is even just taking pictures. How do you balance that though, your creative side and the business side? I mean, what do you like the most? Creative, obviously.
Yeah, I love shooting. Obviously. It's why I don't want to give.
So how do you balance that? How do you do it all? Like as far as taking pictures every day and then going home and editing and business stuff. Like, how do you do all that?
So I'm a morning person.
Sure. Yeah.
So 4 or 5 a.m. I mean, I want to be committed. I mean, you're really committed to working out. Like, good for you, by the way. That's amazing.
I am a 4 a.m. person too.
I know. I love
up.
that.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can really work out, to be honest. But then I work better in the morning. Like, I'm definitely more of a morning editor.
Oh,
I'm just more focused. Same thing with my taxes or anything banking related.
Really?
Morning. So then
I can't even think in the morning. I work out and then I'm still like, that's crazy. Yeah.
I know, we're all wired so different, right?
Right.
But afternoon, like if I've had phone meetings or if something else has come up, then sometimes you're kind of fried by the evening.
Sure.
So I tend to do that stuff in the morning.
Okay.
And then shoots, like today I have 2, but most of the time, you only try to schedule 1. And then I have days where I don't have shoots. So when there's no shoots, those might be more editing days.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about it, and I think the thing that my kids have seen, I mean, they have a dad that works 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, but then they've seen me as a mom and a woman work hard and get up early and be really diligent, more than motivated. It's diligence and perseverance because that's really, motivation's never going to serve you well.
No, I always I'm motivated, but really you're right. It's really perseverance and being very intentional and having that time. It's just really, it's hard though. It's so
time
hard.
management.
Yeah, but it's hard to get up that early. It's hard to do your taxes in the morning, Arlene. Like, I don't know anyone who does that. And so really being like,
but it's only one day a month. Like, that's the thing. I just have to set aside, okay, what day am I going to do these in this week kind of thing. So
I mean, people most need a little push to even do their taxes. But anyway.
Well, and that is true.
Anyway, but it's hard. It's time management. And I'm glad you're saying all this because you have to make that extra effort, I feel like, if you want to be successful in what you do. And so that is important. Yeah.
Well, and then outsourcing. I mean, I don't do all my taxes. I do have an accountant.
Sure.
I do have a house cleaner at times, not all the time, but I think you have to outsource some of the stuff. Like, I love editing. I actually love shooting. I like some of my marketing stuff that I do. And so I outsource some stuff, and that maybe has to do with the household. And then,
do you do all your social media yourself?
I do.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is smart. Like, I'm also very aware to say, like, I could probably outsource some of that stuff or use a scheduler.
But
like
that's hard too, because yours is so good. Like, who are you going to trust to do that?
That's nice. It's so funny. Isn't it also relative? Like, I just feel like we can look at stuff and be like, God, I have a long way to go. And then other people are like, wow, you're so good at it. And I'm like, okay, it's just relative, right?
Right. So we pick ourselves apart. Yeah.
And I could do things, like you can use those 30-day schedulers and stuff. And I'm kind of, honestly, I spend a lot of time, or I have spent a lot of time waiting for kids in the car. So I literally get the most inspired while I'm used to be, or waiting at sports. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to post about this. And then something comes from my heart to write. And so I don't love the scheduling thing.
Right.
But I'm also okay with that. Like, I think anytime you're going to decide something in your business, there's no right or wrong. Just be okay with it.
Sure.
Like, there's no shoulds. But if you're only going to post 3 times a week, like, be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm only posting 3 times a week.
Sure, yeah.
I post on the fly in my car.
Yeah.
Not driving. Just
What I wanted to ask you too, what inspires you when you get up in the morning at 4 a.m.? When you do a shoot, because you're so, when I photographed with you, you have these random thoughts. Let's just go over here. What do you think about that? Like, what inspires you? I mean, to do your work.
When I get up in the morning, like, for me, I'm type A. So I'm not a total creative. That's why when I was in escrow and title, like, I never knew. I always wanted to be a photographer. Like, I never knew I had any of this even in me because I'm quite type A. Like, take my list and then make a list of that list and then keep crossing off it and make a new list. And I do work well that way. I mean, you don't even want to see my desk. So I would love to say I have everything organized, but I just don't. I have a whatever, check it off.
Yeah.
So I like to accomplish those things. The thing about the work and juggling, I don't know what's going to come my way. That's the thing about having kids, as you know, being a mom. So being able to say, I can take you to the doctor, or, okay, you need a ride. I mean, it happened this morning. I need a ride to school. My car's not working. Okay. So I was able to do that and still fit it in. And I love that.
Yeah.
Instead of having to be rigid and commute and whatever.
Sure.
Now, it doesn't always happen because I work weekends and whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think accomplishing the tasks, I do. I just get satisfaction from it.
Yeah.
And I like the after.
That's so funny. I'm the same way. Yeah. I love put it all on my plate.
Yeah.
And when I'm done, I'm like, yes, I got it done. Yeah.
That's the same with editing. Like I like to see the outcome. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, there's a little bit of outsourcing. Like sometimes for weddings, there's some outsourcing with that. But I mean, ultimately the final touches and what you do with a photo, whether it's black and white or color, you see it a certain way.
But what is like when you're out there shooting, what is your favorite scenery? I mean, what do you love when you see it and you're like, oh, I love this?
I think it's just lighting.
Yeah.
Like when you're saying, oh, how do you go here or go there?
Yeah.
I see things different because I know what my lenses do.
Okay.
So that's why it's hard to have someone scout like, oh, I want this location. And I'm like, okay, but where does the light come? Mm-hmm. And what's the texture of the background? So like, I mean, I've photographed high school seniors on piles of garbage or junk or chains, these big chain link things with chain link in the background because what they're wearing kind of goes with it. And then the way the light's coming through.
Yeah.
I just see it different because of how I shoot it.
Right. You do. Yeah. I can, and it shows.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. But
no, it does.
I didn't know I had that until I started shooting. And then I'd look at my photos after and I'm like, oh, so you're kind of learning I was learning as I was going. Mm-hmm. So now I know more. So that's why I can direct you because I can see.
And do you have people that are like, no, I think it's better here? I mean, and then are you like, fine? Or do you really say, listen to me, this is going to turn out great, I promise?
Well, both. I think after you shoot with me, you trust me. So there's building trust with your clients always.
Yep.
And then they're like, oh, wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes people will say that. And so I will try to have a plan where I know that it works.
Uh-huh.
And then we can also try what they want.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say humor them, but you can also say like, so this isn't ideal, but we can shoot some. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the style changes all the time, right? So right now, like shooting in full sun seems like there's a trend, and shooting with people looking into the sun is a trend. And so there's lots of things that are changing with rules or, hey, make everything blurry and crooked. That the crooked horizons are a thing again. So
you do a lot of weddings.
I do.
And enjoy it?
Yeah.
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 I feel like you do the most beautiful weddings I've ever seen.
Oh. I'm going to hang out with you more often.
I mean, I will lift you up, girl. I will put you on that pedestal. Well, yes, I will. That's what I do. Shine, girl.
It's better when I work with Brian.
Yeah. But what are your boundaries? I know weddings can be also tough.
Yeah.
With that stressful day and a lot of women and moms and all these things. I mean, how do you set your boundaries? How do you do that?
Well, it's preparation in advance, like working with your client, managing a timeline, dealing with all of that ahead of time is what, and I mean, I'm coming up with a course. I'm almost done videoing it to be able to launch it. And that's what it talks about is how to manage the stress of a day.
Okay.
Weddings do seem daunting and weddings do seem stressful. But if you do prepare and you walk your clients through it and you plan as much as you can time-wise, then you can handle you can kind of absorb the little hiccups that come along the way. And then part of it is managing people. And that's all escrow and title was, right?
Right.
You're managing whatever agents or even the staff and stress levels. It's all just people.
Yeah.
And so
that was great training for sure.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're learning how to navigate, my own stress, which, lots of posts on Instagram about breathing and everything.
But you're prepping. Okay, so this is a great segue into this course because this is something I wanted to talk to you about, which sounds like it's been it's a passion of yours to educate because I've seen that you're starting to educate other photographers. Is this do you send things out to prep your brides and have it all prepped and
Yes.
Yeah.
So from the moment they kind of meet me, we're kind of massaging that conversation based on when their wedding is.
Okay.
So like minimum 2 months ahead, we're starting this conversation of, okay, here's some tips. Like I created a guide.
Okay.
Tips for a seamless wedding. So this way.
And this course is just about weddings or is it about photography in general?
Well, so it's kind of both because it leads into business, right?
Okay. Okay.
So prepping your brides, like I have guides and stuff because it's important now. I don't ever want them to feel like they have more homework and more stress, but it is like things that they may not think of. Why do a first look versus a ceremony first look? Should I learn to tie my bow tie before the day of the wedding?
Oh,
Like
my
time-saving
gosh.
things. Because all
Yeah.
of that stuff, if you really sat down and you took all these little hiccups, they can be half hour here, half hour there. You do not have that time.
Wow.
And so walking them through, like, this is really important, and then going through a timeline. So even if you have a coordinator, that's like everything from setup to, takedown. But like photography timeline of this is when we're shooting this, bridesmaids be ready. Are we transitioning locations? When should family be there? So guiding them through things they don't even think of. And then if they don't want to do a first look, okay, we're fitting all of this in here. Oh, I never thought of that. Oh, so really just talking. It's just communication, right? Not just being like, oh, I hope you figure it out. I've shot 200 weddings or more, and this is their first time getting married. They don't know. And so I don't think it's not, I always tell them, I'm like, you're not supposed to know. Like, how would you know?
Right.
And so my job is to help you, and then you can just decide. And from your decision, we can plan. And when there's planning, there's less stress.
I wish I had that in my wedding.
I know, right? Like, it's just, and there's a place for a coordinator always, because they're planning other things too. Like, I'm only worried about the photography, but some of the other stuff like flows into it that they need to think about. And then it's just decisions.
Sure. Yeah. So the course that you're putting together, is this something like, how did it come about?
So I actually had a bride, and I still need to kind of tell her this story. I had a bride ask me for, like, do you have like the whole day kind of mapped out?
Yeah.
But we usually talk about it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, so I made that guide, that 20-page guide of like, kind of like a wedding Bible, but basically how to have your wedding be seamless. So everything from start to finish, things that come up, like, are you going to do a champagne thing with your girlfriends in robes? Are you going to do a first look? Are you going to have a grand entrance? Are you doing an exit? Things that people are like, oh, I don't know. And so I wrote this guide with pretty little pictures and everything. So that's where it stemmed. And then I'm like, well, I would like to teach people like how to shoot a wedding.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend's like, well, why don't you do that? But, you should maybe start with maybe we start with digital guides are really big right now. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should write like just a little guide on how to shoot a wedding. And he's like, well, we could video it. And then he's like, well, maybe you should video like all the aspects. And then maybe we should do a video on like when you hire a second shooter. And now we're at 18 video modules.
Oh my goodness.
And I have an 80-page PDF that basically is all the modules, like a workbook.
Wow.
So we're almost ready
That's
to
amazing.
launch it. And it's kind of cool to have seen it all come
How
together.
proud you must be.
Yeah,
that is so
I'm still
amazing.
scared because I have to still launch it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I get that. Like, it's a big deal. Plus, it's your baby. Like, that's a big deal.
I could have started with maybe a family shoot. Like, I guess I didn't. It's the thing about imposter syndrome, right? Like, but there's a lot of these people that have courses on how to shoot a family or how to shoot a baby. So then you kind of talk yourself out of that.
Right.
But what I wasn't finding is a lot of thorough meaty knowledge on shooting a wedding. Like, hey, this is your creative side, but this is how you can prepare.
Yeah.
This is how you can have less stress. This is how you can move through the day.
Right.
But the reason why people don't shoot weddings is because they're stressful.
Right.
But you're leaving a lot of not only money on the table from a lucrative gig, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
So like once you book that client, guess what? They're going to keep coming back to you. So then they're in what we call like this loyalty loop, right? Like this little loop of
for their babies and their
Right.
family. Yeah.
So it's like this funnel of income that starts at a wedding. Now, yes, you don't need weddings to have a successful business. Like, I'm not saying that. But it has been these like influxes of income and then this relationship that then I've shot. Like, I'm literally going to shoot a wedding next summer. And I was photographing him since he was 5.
Oh my
I did his senior photos, all their family photos, and now he's getting married. And so that's really exciting.
Yes.
And not to date myself because I haven't aged. They're just all aging.
Yeah.
But it kind of is like this concept of, the client acquisition. Well, you only have to do that once, but then once they know you, they're kind of like in your little circle.
And when you say imposter syndrome, but you obviously bring something different, is why you've been successful for so many years. So even if you're doing a course that somebody else has done as well, you bring a little different take on it, and you do things very different. And I think that's so interesting to me because you're right. I have talked to I know a lot of photographers, I've networked with, and they're like, oh, I don't do weddings. And it's like, you're right. I mean, it's stressful. And so you bringing something like this to the table to help that is really cool. I like that.
Well, and if people want to be maybe booked more than they are, or increase their income, like how can they do that? Okay, well, then you can add weddings, but I'm scared. Okay, but I'm going to teach you how to shoot a wedding again, how to navigate the day and prior to the day with less stress, because that's what we all want, right? Like that's what's scary is the stress and oh my goodness, the pressure.
Yeah.
But if we can conquer that, okay, would you add it or add even a few a year? I don't know, maybe.
Do you think this is something that you want to do full time, like eventually in the future, or like educate and coach photographers? I mean,
I love one-on-one, like I think one-on-one, but I don't know, like, you know, the whole verbiage out there right now, put yourself in rooms that, you know, with people bigger than you, like I'm game for that. My partner, he's so encouraging and he's got the resources at his company. He's been very kind to like help share his knowledge and everything to help me launch this. But he's just like, you can do anything. Like it's so nice to have like that support.
I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I think that the world needs this from you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, like you said, we all have a different voice, and I believe that too. Yeah. I think it's one thing to believe it for yourself, but of course, like I would say to anyone too, like you have a different voice and you will reach different people based on who you are.
Sure.
Just like photographers, you choose a photographer you resonate with. Like I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me.
Sure.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And so same thing with learning. We learn from different people. And I remember that from the courses that I watched early on. There were a couple sales strategies and people teaching. And I'm like, okay, I like that. That resonates. I can listen to that person.
Sure.
I can hear her voice and be okay with that. And then the other people, like you're like, oh, that's not really my thing.
Okay.
And their voice is annoying. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay. So I kind of want to turn the tables a little bit about beauty and beauty standards. So I a lot of people that listen to this, it's tied in with mental health because of what we do at BioClean. We do a lot with, the bad things, but a lot of it that we do is suicide rates. A lot of them are women, children. And I just want to kind of talk to you about mental health aspects as far as you being a mother, a beautiful woman, a former model. Oh, and I had to put that plug in there, and really I'm plugging you up.
Short, not even.
And then, but I wanted to talk about beauty standards because you photograph girls, women. You do boudoir. Did I say that right?
Well, I say boudoir, but a lot of people try the French. I don't even know.
So, and you make women feel beautiful. So, as far as what are you seeing right now, especially with your daughters, about the beauty standards and what is happening with that? I mean, what is your take on beauty standards now?
Well, I mean, gosh, I mean, the struggle's real, right? Like you have so much coming at you. And I think as I approach, like I'm going to say it out loud, as I'm approaching 50,
50 is the new 20 or 30. Right?
I'm going to do 40 again.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. No. Actually, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I honestly, like, I love this age of life. Like, but I think there's a lot of like, oh, I'm going to get really muscular in my 50s. There's this whole trend of like people really working out really hard, women, and all the protein intake and everything. So we're kind of flooded all the time with different messages. And then I have two very different daughters. I have one, she's so confident in what she wears and how she is. And, probably not what Instagram's going to portray as like the ideal. And then I have one really heavy into sports. And, we have our own self-consciousness when we're next to other people that are in sports and athletic. And there's always a level of comparison, I think. But helping women celebrate themselves before babies, but then especially after. Like, I was never as fit as I was when I thought I wasn't. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Like that, you're never going to be like this again after you have a baby, but yet not even in a bad way. Like, how do you celebrate your body?
Right.
Wherever it's at. Because it's hard. So much of photography or being in a photo, being photographed, is not how you look, it's how you feel.
Yes.
So what I hear from women is, I don't feel good. I don't want to get my photo taken. I know. And I've said that too.
Yeah.
And yet, can anyone notice 5 pounds on me? Probably not.
Right.
And so that's what I try. Like, there's no time like now.
Yeah.
Like as a mom, like your kids are only this age once.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from looking back on photos, I like my photos a lot more 2 months later or a year later. And so I really try to encourage women, when you're looking at your photos after your gallery's delivered, take a break and go back to them.
Yeah.
Look at the emotion in them, how your kid's looking at you, the hug, not what you see as a roll or a double chin or whatever. Like, because they're only this age once.
Sure.
And then same thing with our bodies, like boudoir. Yeah, it's hard. I will say, like, women are like,
I mean, how do you navigate that? I mean, because I'm sure women are like, I don't feel good in my body wearing this. Yeah. Don't shoot me at this angle. I mean, you must see a lot of that. And how do you navigate that? Like, what do you say? Are you just...
Well, I will say women, it does not take long.
Okay.
A glass of champagne and some music. And by the end, they're like, I don't know. I don't need to wear anything. I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's all for me and my style.
Yeah.
It's shooting. It's shadows. It's lighting. It's angles. I don't shoot in an all bright white light studio.
Yeah.
Because I would not like that. That's been my philosophy from all the way from sales to shooting. How would I want to feel? How do I want to be sold to? How do I want to experience this after the fact? That's why I answer my phone.
Yeah.
I've literally booked a lot of weddings just from answering my phone. And some people don't even have their phone number on their website.
Right.
And so I feel like when I put myself in their shoes and truly be like, okay, how would I want to be told or talked to or the situation navigated?
Yeah.
It has really helped. And for women,
I mean,
it's vulnerable. It's not, I mean, are you kidding? But I will say boudoir is far more technical than it is sexy. Like we all want to be like, okay,
I'm natural at this
here, whatever. No, it's like arch to look.
I know.
Move here because the light's here. The sunlight's coming in. But it's amazing what lighting will do, right?
Yeah,
And I just want people to leave seeing what I see.
Sure.
I feel like lenses. When I look through my lens, I see something different. And I want them to be able to see that.
I know. And it's really hard, especially like beauty standards with all the stuff that's happening with Botox and fillers. And then you have your filters, and then you have, and, you have all these things going on and people wanting to look a certain way. Your kids
telling
now.
you don't have a top lip and you're like,
yeah.
That's okay. I'm okay with it.
Yours are too big. But definitely, it's always something. And so, but I think photography definitely brings out beauty inside out. And
for sure, energy, aura.
Yeah. And I think it's a beautiful way of showing how people really are, and happy. And it just brings positivity in general. So doing that kind of career, I feel like people think, oh, I can take pictures. I mean, this is easy. Actually, it's not. It's really bringing that out of someone, and it's technical, and it's creative.
And it's all of those things. Like
all of those things.
As emotional as it is technical, which is kind of something to balance. But people all have a story. There's a lot of pain, but pain actually is what makes us grow. And there's so much beauty in that. Yeah. But I think when you're willing to, I'm pretty open with my clients. Like I said, one-on-one, not as much on social media maybe, but when you share, they share. Yeah. And then it just really blossoms and you see them. You don't walk in and go, oh my gosh, your right thigh is so large. You walk in and you see them as a whole, and you want them to see themselves as a whole and that energy that's inside.
And I encourage anyone listening to check out your photos, because I know there's like one I saw, you did a senior picture of a girl like sunshine, and she had this like smile, and I had to like take another look because it really showed like that authentic happiness from the sun. And I think that's important for any photographer that's listening to, that's learning, really should not only get your course, but also really take a lot from that, because those are the best pictures, I think, are those kind of pictures that you see showing those emotions.
Well, and if you can loosen up enough you know, instead of feeling so rigid or what are you seeing? But that's what also builds trust with a photographer. I think that's why I have a lot of repeat clients, not only from customer service and consistency in how I respond and when I respond and everything and all of that business stuff. It's, you know, they trust what they're going to get.
Yeah.
So that I know the angles, I know what flatters them. I'm not giving them a bunch of stuff that isn't flattering either.
Right.
And so, because I mean, we've all seen reality versus Instagram. Like it's both.
And that's why I wanted to talk, like the beauty standards, just don't believe everything you see.
Of course.
But you'll know when you see a photo, definitely, if that's a real one, that's an authentic one, that one's a good one. Because everything out there right now is showing our kids what really isn't happening. You know, it's not real.
Well, and it's okay. Like even with kids in photos, like when they're 3, they're going to have a meltdown. But guess what? If that's what's happening, that is part of them.
Yeah. Show the meltdown.
Right. And so, okay, that's part of their personality. That might not be maybe their norm all the time, but why not capture it? Because it is what you will remember partly about them.
Yes.
And it's just a season.
Sure.
You know, they're all developing. Mine aren't done developing either. Like I'm excited to see who my kids are going to become.
Yeah.
And, you know, that gives me hope as a parent too.
Sure.
That,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. So before we end, when is your course coming out?
Oh, I know I should have a
You
date
don't know
by
yet?
now. I'm hoping I'm hoping to launch
Okay.
by the end of May or into
Sure.
June. I still have, there's a lot of work with like promotion and different
And don't
things
rush
going on.
it. Just when it's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
I've learned that timing, I mean, maybe when it is ready, when it is ready, that will be the right time.
Yeah.
But I do think having a set date is really important, like for our brains, and especially like me, who's a 5 a.m.er and really diligent on lists and stuff. I do want to have a date. And so I'm looking at the end of May, beginning of June.
Cool.
And then I will probably be relaunching in the slow season again, because I think
So everyone watch out for that.
I'm trying to keep people apprised.
And then say your website so people can go to it.
So it's arlenechambers.com.
Arlenechambers.com.
And then I have a wedding site as well, but it's on there. But I have seattleweddingphotographer.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to check you out. For
Yeah,
sure.
I would love that. Check it out. And
Oh, I know. Everyone has to. Your photos are amazing. You've had photos from a long time ago on there too.
I know. You know, it's sometimes hard to change because I don't have favorites and I don't have favorite locations and I don't have favorite any. But sometimes I'm like, that's not a bad photo. Like I like that. I
they're
like
all
that
good.
expression and whatever. So I don't know. It's hard to change it, but I don't know. It's just been so fun, like reconnecting with you and having seen you go from the escrow and title company and leave into your own thing.
I know. And thank you so much for doing this, because it's so important. I feel like we need more of celebrating women and in all kinds of industries.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then really taking the time. All of it. No.
You are. I mean,
but
it's a big deal to leave and to launch something new.
It's scary. And it's really important for anyone listening that if you can do that, you know, you just need to do it, take the risk and do it diligently. That's our word today.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, thank you, my Canadian friend. Yay. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh.